Hey guys, welcome to the Keeping It 99 podcast for episode 3. We are here in St. Moses and St. Mary's Abbey. It's a monastery, Coptic monastery in Corpus Christi, Texas. I'm obviously here with Mina, the co-host, and our guest, whose name is also Mina. Mina Hanna. He's one of our like leaders for like this age group at our church, and so it's great to have you on here, man.
It's great to be here, man. I watched your first two, and it's pretty awesome watching. So it's good to be on the other side of the camera this time.
Yeah. So we're just gonna get started with because obviously here we are here in the monastery. We are inside of St. Mary's Church. I don't know how much you guys can see behind us, but it's a really nice church. So obviously you came here when you were in high school.
Yeah, like that was so the first time I came was in middle school, and that was like a big group trip. Like everyone in middle school, boys and girls, was like 40 plus people. We came, and then the year after I came ninth grade, and then I came 10th grade like two times. I went spring break, and I went again in the summer, and then I came again like 2017 when Father Nathaniel came after he got ordained. I came then, and then that was COVID and all that stuff happened, and this is my first time being back. So this was either my fifth or my sixth time. So some real good memories here. A lot of fun, a lot of hard work, a lot of being real tired.
Yeah.
But there's a reason I came back. I love it here. So yeah, it's good to be back, and it's good to be back with y'all.
Yeah, it's great to have you with us. I feel like obviously a lot of people that watch this are not Coptic, and they don't really know about the Coptic life, and that's part of this podcast is like exposing people to like this different culture and this different like it's a lifestyle really, and this is a different way of life. So obviously while we're here, we're waking up at 4 a.m. every day,
Right.
and it's pretty late right now. It's like 10:30 p.m. and so 10:05. Yeah, so we're running on low sleep because we got here yesterday. We worked today. Physical labor.
It's 97 degrees.
Made some beds.
97 degrees.
Nice and
Yeah,
humid.
me and one over here made some beds. What did you do for work?
So I got it kind of easy in the beginning. I was in the bookstore in the AC, just little stickers, organizing, whatever. And then I left, and the bookstore closed at 5 or 4. We didn't finish work till 5. So I went to the garden. I helped some other guys plant cucumber seeds. I mean, that's kind of like a part of it. It's just random tasks. But,
me and one made beds
with Adam.
Yeah, with Adam, who's not here right now. But that was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was an experience.
It was. No, so obviously, waking up at 4 a.m. is very hard. We've only been here for one day, and it's, I didn't even wake up at 4 a.m. We'll go at 5, but it's still. I already know tomorrow's gonna be really tough, and the day after is gonna be really tough. But obviously, the monks that live here, that reside here, they every single day, they're up at 4 a.m. and they're working probably around 6 hours a day, like physical labor,
Right.
And they're doing their personal prayer, and they're doing all this stuff, and they have liturgy every day. And obviously it's a very hard, very rigorous life and lifestyle. And obviously, since you've been here a lot, I just wanted to know a little bit like how like where like I know obviously like when you come here it's for short periods of time, so it's not like nothing like elongated, but like the times that you have come here, like what did you take out of it from their lifestyle, as in like life lessons or like disciplines, like what things did you take out of it, like in your many times coming here?
Yeah, so like I would say, like, I feel like everyone when they come for the first time, they feel like the extremes. So like when you come here for the first time, you either want to never leave, or you cannot wait to go home, and you're willing to pay any amount of money to get in the van and just whatever get back to your home. And it's for sure this life isn't for everyone. That's why not everyone does it. But I will say, like, a good practice for me coming to and from so many times was to kind of find the middle ground between the extremes. Because I will say, every time I came, it wasn't just like, it was either extreme. It wasn't always like, I can't wait to come back. Sometimes I would come and I'd be like, dude, I cannot wait to go home. Other times I'm like, well, if 1, 2 more, whatever it might be. So something I found to be real beneficial is we find the middle ground between the extremes, So what can I take away from these people who, for whatever reason personal to them, they decided to sell everything they had, live a life, swearing to poverty, wake up at 4 every day, food's pretty good, but whatever it might be, like sign up for manual labor and no pay and all this stuff. What can I take away from them? What's something that I can bring back when I go home and use it every day. And I would say something for me, like personally, is like this kind of number one, like humbleness and kind of meekness. I don't know if you guys know the word meekness, like quietness. So
Yeah.
this kind of like humbleness and kind of coming like really down to earth, just not really worrying about everything going around. And like Father Daniel was giving us a talk today, and he said like uh he left and he's talking to his mom, and he's saying that my goal, my mind, my like elevation is not about this. It's about, after this life.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
about this life, it's about after this life. So to kind of take these key aspects, I feel like all of them are striving or do have, and this constant like keeping your eye on the prize is something that, is really important for anyone coming here. Like if you're going to come away with anything, I think the best thing to come away with is keeping your eye on the prize, that what happens in this life doesn't matter as much as what's happening in the next life.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'd agree 100%. I feel like a big part of that, like honestly comes down like what you were saying like earlier, like the meekness. Just in the day that we've been here, it has been so quiet, and it's really relieving from like, like coming from the outside world of just hustle and bustle and loud, and there's always something happening, and especially with like school and all that. And I've noticed like coming here, like even just my speech itself, just being around this place, I've been quieter. I've been calmer, and it's literally been like not even probably around 24 hours at this point.
Yeah.
And it's honestly like this morning we were having a discussion on the patio next to the lake or whatever, and like everyone there, all of us, it was very quiet in the morning. It was like 8 a.m. in the morning, something like that. We all spoke so quietly. It was like this, like very. I mean, it's gonna be louder on the video, but like if you're sitting right here right now, like like I'm not even talking that loud. I'm pretty quiet right now, and so I feel like everyone that was sitting there, like no matter like the entire conversation, we were all talking quiet. It was very like calm, very soothing, and I feel like that's like for me so far that's been the biggest takeaway, is really like the quietness and the meekness and so I mean I really love it. What about you, Mina?
I think like how the monks like I'm sorry. The monks like they really do like they welcome anyone in. They're very like warm-hearted too.
Yeah.
They're very nice to everyone, and they like back in our church, they don't let us like they don't do chanters or other ranks do the gospel and stuff. But here it's like anyone could serve in the altar and anyone could do anything.
Yeah, well, I think that's just that's like a numbers thing, because like we're the only ones out there. Like someone's got to do it.
Yeah, but I agree with Mina. Like when you come here, everyone is like as if you've known them for like 100 years.
Yeah.
They're, extremely nice to you, extremely welcoming. Like anything you need, they give. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like I remember like this morning we were just about I mean the monks, they were just so nice. They really took us in, because it was like our first morning. Obviously you weren't awake. Everyone wasn't awake. It was just it was just 5. I mean, it's the first night. It was just 5 of us, and so we felt honestly kind of lost sitting in the middle of a church, and obviously the pacing is different. Everything is different about it. And I mean, they really like welcomed us. They really made us feel like that, like we are part of this church.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, it's true, because we are all part of like the Coptic Church and Christ's body, and so I feel like it was very like good of them, and it was very like Christian of them. Like they really fulfilled that aspect of Christianity, like really welcoming, really loving. And I feel like that's also another thing we can take away, is like in our own churches, when we see new people, to always be welcoming, always be loving, because you never know what people have going on like behind the scenes, and you never know why new people come to church. It could be for a multitude of reasons. And so I feel like the biggest thing that we can do is welcome people and love people. Yeah. And I mean I've already learned so much, and I've only been here for a day, so
yeah. I mean, like anyone who gives their life to something is going to be an expert on that subject. So
yeah,
these guys who however long they've been here have been dedicating hours and a day for many months, many years to to learning more about Christ, learning more about his teachings, and I just feel like there's so much to learn from them, because they strive and they do in every way to like really represent Christ, be an icon of Christ, really show us through their ways and how they act, how to be like Christ. So just even if like Father Daniel came and he spoke and he gave us a great lecture, and there's so much to learn, but even without him opening his mouth, I feel like there's so much to learn just watching them and seeing how they interact with each other and how like they talk to each other, how they treat each other as brothers, how they esteem each other and with respect and all those things. Even like at the bare minimum, that is like something that is so like beneficial for us to gain. And look just looking at them.
Yeah, and like I noticed like going back to the respect thing, like all the brothers and all the fathers, they're always like when they're walking around, like they have their heads down, like
Right.
they're looking down, they're not looking at anyone, and they greet everyone, they treat everyone with respect. They really like the obedience that they show.
Hmm.
Just not even they don't have to say anything, like they don't even have to like be told to do anything. It's just like the obedience that they portray just by like being, just by looking at them, you can tell that they're very very obedient, they're very
Right.
humble. And I mean, it was a big takeaway, especially like this morning. It does about how like Father Daniel, um, he's standing there, and it's honestly just even looking at him
Hmm.
it's like an image of Christ, like really.
Right.
And so I feel like like the things that I've gotten away from just being here for a day, honestly, is crazy. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so
The first time you came, you said you were in middle school, right?
Right.
Did you take Uncle Samir's old vans?
Yeah,
Did
we
you
took.
take?
Yeah, so if anyone who doesn't know, these were like old vans. Like these were
Yeah.
old 15 passenger vans. We took them across the country, and they weren't nice like y'all have here with
Yeah.
like
yeah,
two seats and then like a separate seat. It was 3
Mhm.
benches,
Yeah.
and we actually took them from Atlanta, went to Dallas, so that's about 13 hours. Spent the
Yeah.
night in Dallas, and then another 8 hours down here. So I mean, yeah, that was that was rough. And actually, I remember they like how like we stuffed the bags in the back.
Yeah.
They stuffed all the bags in the back, and the door didn't close all the way, and it rained. And so we got to Dallas, and everyone's bags are wet, and they're
No.
like we stayed in a church in Dallas, and they're like the whole night they're trying to like dry their clothes and wash their clothes and all that stuff. Yeah, but I mean it was a blast. Actually, we went to Six Flags on our way back up. It was a lot
no,
of
the
fun.
Six Flags in like Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas Six Flags. Yeah,
That's fun. That's fun.
yeah.
Oh, you saw they opened up their new ride? Their-
No,
You didn't see? It
I'm
was
not. I'm not a Six Flags
they had to
enthusiast.
they had to like take off all the retrack it.
Hmm.
They had to put back new tracks. I think it was like L something, EL space something. I don't know. But who'd you go with on
What
the
do you mean?
trip? Like who,
Like
who
the
was
whole.
there?
He just
It
says
was
40 people,
everybody?
man. He's gonna start naming.
Yeah, it was a lot of. It was like
putting the list
it was
up.
everyone, boys, girls from 6th to 8th grade.
That's a massive trip. So what, like,
40? It's a
was a
lot.
I
bit-
mean,
Yeah,
this
it's
is like this is the first time, like, obviously, all of us in high school have been to the monastery.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, COVID stopped a lot of our trips and our like
Right.
conventions and stuff. Like, we haven't been to conventions since freshman year. But like, I feel like now that like we're back into it, like we're back to that stuff. Like, I would definitely want to come here again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely. I feel like the first time it's kind of shocking because it's like, it gets kind of overwhelming.
Hmm.
I noticed like some of the guys here are like some of them are like pretty overwhelmed. Some of them are really really tired. I mean, half of them are asleep right now.
Yeah.
And so I feel like maybe if we come again another time, it'll be like after we get like used to it, because like now we know what it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Your first time with anything, of course, is gonna be rough. But yeah, you're like you said. The more you do it, the more at least. I don't know if you guys maybe knew what to expect coming into it
Yeah.
this time. Like you might see a schedule on paper and be like, okay, this is gonna happen. But the actual reality.
Well, I mean, the reality doesn't really match the schedule.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly that. But the actual reality of waking up and then taking a nap, like whatever it might be,
Is
is
different.
Yeah. So once you've actually done that, I feel like, coming into it, you'll know what to expect. How to get the most out of it, and things like that.
but I mean, I've really enjoyed like not just like the trip here, but also the car ride on the way. I mean, it was
Yeah.
kind of annoying, but I feel like just like us singing hymns in the car, like
Hmm.
for the majority of the time, other than the few random instances where things were happening, but like
Right.
no, but like I feel like the majority of the time, like I feel like especially for me personally, because just how much I'm invested into like hymnology and how much I love
Mhm.
it. I feel like it's a different way of bonding,
Yeah, I
between
agree.
people. Because you really do like feel a connection with someone else's like spirit when
Yeah.
you're singing hymns with them, and when you're really like into it and you're really focused. And I feel like on the car, even
Yeah.
like just now right before we came here in the rooms,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I agree. I mean, actually, there's a in our like in the morning doxology, there's 2 verses, and actually it happened to be like the wedding like ceremony in the Catholic Church, the gospel response for it. So it's those whom the Holy Spirit has attuned together as a string instrument, always blessing God.
Yeah.
You know, and it's by psalms and hymns and spiritual songs.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, it's so clear, and you can feel it. You can every time that you do it, you feel like you're bonding, and like like you said, you feel yourself getting closer just by like singing and whatever it might be. And honestly, I feel like that's the thing. Not even just for like spiritual things. I feel like, you know, anyone who I guess has a music or whatever it might be, I feel like they feel that same bond through music, or that same bond through anything that people like as a group enjoy together. You know?
Yeah. I feel like one of the really like unique things about the Catholic Church is the hymnology, is the music.
Right.
Compared to, you know, all like other churches and other religions. And I feel like obviously it makes us unique, but it's also something that brings us all together. And, you know, it like obviously like, you know, we're learning hymns here.
Right.
And as we're sitting here, like learning them, like it's honestly, it's really cool to, you know, learn something with all your friends, you know, that you all share in common, and that, you know, one day you are all going to be chanting together in a chorus.
Right. Yeah.
And it's honestly beautiful. I mean, even just practicing it, you still feel that connection. You still feel.
Yeah. You know, I miss that a lot about my friend group, because, you know, like we opened like another church at St. Mark's, and then a good number of them stayed at St. Mary's. So, you know, it's very seldom that all of us get together and actually get to pray together. And you know, so I miss that a lot. And I definitely felt that a lot growing up. You know, when I was your age and maybe a little bit younger, about us always getting together, especially in summer. You know, like when you're in summer, no one's there.
Camp,
it's your church, you know, and like
it is.
you got to do whatever you want to do.
The high school church,
you know, and like it was awesome memories, and like it just felt great, and it was something I always look forward to, especially in the summer or in Sundays, to, you know, do that. So
I feel like also like for me, because obviously I go to St. Mary, most of the guys here go to St. Mark, and like as I went to St. Mark on Sunday, and it really did feel different. It felt like it is kind of cool to, you know, really like lead with your friends, you know, being a chorus with your friends. And it's something that I enjoy when I come to St. Mark, you know, the rare occasions that I do.
Yeah, being with all your friends, you know.
I feel like it's a very, very underestimated thing, and I really enjoy it. But we'll keep those for rare times.
Yeah, I mean, like I said it once, I'll say it again. Like, y'all know each other from church. Don't let church like be the only thing y'all don't do together.
You say that a lot.
You know, make time for it, especially now, and when you guys are in college and high school, and you have the luxury and actually the currency of time, that, you know, like schedules are flexible, things like that. You know, make time for it for sure.
So obviously, you know, you're past college now.
Yeah.
You know, you're a working individual, so. I'd like to learn a little bit like how like you struggled through college, like being Coptic Christian. Like, what challenges did you face? Like being a Coptic kid, and I mean, you went to KSU, right? So
right, I went to KSU.
I mean, obviously you were still in your church, you know, your home church. So, but like, what things did you like deal with like on like a day-to-day basis?
So I mean, it's not as crazy as you think. Like, it's very expected what you're going to get into, because the change from high school to college, as far as what's going on around you or as far as people, is not going to be that much of a difference. But of course, experiences, you know, things change. But as far as these outside influences that you guys are experiencing in high school, it's almost the same what you're experiencing in college, right? As far as like, let's say I'm the perspective of somebody who wants to keep, you know, the Christian values. There's always these opposing forces: middle school, high school, college, right? And you can attest to that being in high school. So, you know, as far as that aspect goes, that is something that I've been training for, or training quote unquote for, since high school, is how to, you know, not cut myself off 100% from these people, and not like say, well, let me see your like Coptic tattoo. Okay, I don't get, you know, to be like willing and accepting. And actually, the greatest thing about college is that you're not only seeing people from your like 5 mile square radius of high school, you're seeing people from the whole state, the whole whatever it might be. So you're seeing many perspectives of people, and you're gaining from their perspectives. And I think something like real important for like young Christians is to how to view other people's and respect other people's perspective on life, while acknowledging what the truth is. Okay, like I know what the truth is, and this person might have a different opinion or perspective than me, but how do I respect it? how do
Yeah.
I view it, you know? And it's very important to socialize, get involved, not just say, well, everyone in the world is like going to hell, but because I'm like a part of this small like community, like you know, like it's very important to like immerse yourself and be that light of the world that Christ asks you to be. And like you said, like here in the monastery, we see all these monks and we learn from them just looking at them.
Yeah.
You know, who's to say that somebody cannot learn about any aspect of Christ that you're trying to represent, you know, from looking at you? I will say that the best thing about being in college is you make your own schedule.
Yeah.
You have time. There's like 3 stages of life, and sorry to go on, but it's like when you're young, you have time and energy, but you don't have money. And then when you get a little bit older, you get money and energy, but you don't have time. Then when you retire, you have money and you have time, but you don't have the energy,
Yeah.
right? So we're all, or you know, I'm kind of phasing out of it, but like in college, I was in the aspect of what I had was time, what I had was energy. I didn't have any money, but I had time and I had energy. So those were the things that I had to use to my advantage, you know? So being able to put my own schedule and being able to kind of man up and like take ownership of it was a big thing for me, especially you know, like being able to schedule my like classes around either church or anything it might be, you know.
Mhm.
Kind of like I said earlier, like what's my end goal? My degree in computer science only will get me so far. It's not going to get me to have, it's not going to, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
what's my end goal?
Yeah, no, I agree. And just like what Father Daniel told us earlier, like how like his story and how he got into the Catholic Church. The same way how he just all he had to do was just look at a few friends
Mm-hmm.
and like it changed his life. And so I feel like like in high school it's the challenges are weird because it's kind of like because everyone you're around is like so close. I mean, you've been in school with them for
Right. You
forever.
see them from like
Yeah.
8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Exactly.
You know?
So there, it's I feel like, you know, I talked about this in the last episode as well. It's really hard, and in the first one too. It's really hard for me from a personal standpoint to to spread my faith really. And like I don't know if everyone can relate to this or not, but like I feel like a lot of times like throughout the day there are times where like people will ask me about certain things, certain like, oh, why are you doing this, why are you doing that, and I'm almost like ashamed to answer.
Right.
You weren't here this morning when we were talking about this, but George was talking about like the you know, I guess the last podcast he was talking about, we were talking outside earlier and this morning in our conversation about how like when his friends asked him like what he's doing for spring break, he said Texas. Like, he's going to Texas, and they're like, why are you going to Texas? And and he like didn't even want to like say, you know, his response was like, it's not like everyone's like version of fun. Like he didn't even like respond to like what it is. And so I feel like I myself find myself doing that as well. I don't know if you do or not.
Personally, I think I would just.
You good, man?
Yeah, I don't think I would be ashamed to answer. I think I'd just be, after explaining myself, I'd be overwhelmed with questions and stuff like that.
I'm definitely
and
overwhelmed
that I
with
don't know how to
questions.
answer them.
Yeah, I think it's the biggest thing is the questions that come out of it. Like some people ask. I mean, like I heard something from apologeticist. Is that what they call it?
Apologetic, maybe.
A dude that does apologetics.
Sure.
I don't know what like the title of that is, but his name is Ravi Zacharias. He's like a really like famous dude, and he says, you know, in one of his books that I read, I'll put a picture of it here. Yeah, I'll put a picture of it here. He says like every question has like a questioner behind it.
Questionnaire, you said?
Like a questionnaire, like every question that is asked has someone behind it. No, like there's a person behind it asking the questions.
Of course.
And so you have to understand the motive of that person, like asking the question, before you can answer. And so I feel like a lot of times I try to like discern if this person is asking because they want to learn, or if they want to challenge, or if they just like they just are asking just to ask.
Right.
And I feel like it's sometimes a very thin line, very fine line, like in between, you know, like those types of motives. And, you know, it's very hard to, you know, to try to explain something to someone that's just trying to start like start an argument or trying to just talk to talk. And I feel like it somewhat discourages me to even like share my faith and share, what I believe in, even though it is such a big part of my life. It is
Mm-hmm.
like church is like the thing in my life,
Right. Yeah.
It's not school, it's not, sports or anything.
But
It is.
I think we made this podcast to answer those questions.
Yeah, I think that's
Right.
one of the
It's like-
driving forces.
Yeah.
Obviously, this podcast is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be about, like day-to-day topics. But,
Mhm.
me when we were talking about this, like we were thinking about having like once every 6 weeks, like a podcast dedicated to the Coptic Church. And this is probably gonna be the one for the 6 weeks.
Right.
Just because I feel like for me, because of how important church is to me,
Mm-hmm.
it's a disservice, and it's not right for me not to share it. And
Right.
I feel like this is the easiest avenue.
Yeah, I mean, you brought up a good point. What is the motive of the person
Yeah.
asking me that question? Like you said, if there's somebody who's just looking for an argument, like, okay, whatever, brush them off. And like you said about George saying like, hey, I'm going to Texas. The exact same thing happened to me because when I was in junior or senior, whatever, in high school, I went for my spring break. I went to Texas, and I came here for Texas for spring break. And somebody asked me, hey, what are you doing in Texas? I'm like, I'm visiting friends. What are you doing with your friends? You just don't care to answer. But you have to remember, like what did Christ say? Right? He said, "Let your light so shine before men."
Mm-hmm.
So he said, not flash your light in somebody's face, not shove it down their throat.
Yeah.
He said, a city that's set on a hill could not be
Yeah.
hidden. Right?
Mhm.
So when somebody comes and their motive is to ask you this question and they have a genuine motive, you're not doing anything, right? You were there. You cannot, what your light is, which is Christ, cannot be hidden or should not be hidden from your answer.
Yeah.
So, like you said, like, hey, I feel like this podcast is a great avenue to answer these questions, which is correct because a lot of people's questions can't be answered in one sentence.
I don't know if they can.
A lot of people's questions can't be answered in one day. Like and that's a good also answer to their questions is, hey, like I'd love to answer your question. Maybe here's like a short answer, but there's so much more behind it. And like you said, it's all about who's asking the question and what their intent is.
So I feel like that's like the beauty of the Coptic Church is the complexity and the simplicity at the same time.
Correct.
It's very complex, but it's also very simple.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, again, like coming back to like just being on this trip at the monastery, I feel like being here, a lot of it is very, very like they live a very simplistic life, but at the same time, it is so complex.
Right.
Like obviously when Father Daniel was talking to us today, like some of the stuff he was saying was like blowing my mind.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of just the vocabulary he used, honestly,
Right.
and his sentence structure just blew my mind. But and the stuff he was saying, and then at the same time, he's coming to church, living a very simple life.
Yeah. One thing I would say is it's not. Maybe complicated is not an excellent word. Yeah, the topics he's studying, which is God, which is unlimited, is very intricate, but
Yeah.
it's demanding. I'd say.
Yeah, it is.
It's not a very complicated thought process or like kind of like idea of Christ, but it's demanding to live this Christian life.
Oh no,
That's a very demanding life. So, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So it's like I was saying, it's a very demanding lifestyle. So. I don't know. I forgot I was going. We're gonna have to cut this out.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
So you've came here, multiple times. With
Many
your friends.
times.
Have you ever came alone?
I came once with my dad, so basically alone.
Basically
So,
alone.
yeah, I came once.
Did you guys sleep in the rooms we're sleeping in?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys find any bugs or anything?
No. By the way, it was much worse before. Like
Really?
the carpet used to be carpet on the floor, like old carpet, and then just 4 mattresses on the like twin mattresses on the floor pushed together. So like you're one mega bed, just like.
So that's why they have us building beds. That's why.
Like last time I came was like maybe 5-6 years ago, and they were still remodeling. So I don't know what
Yeah.
they've been remodeling. And actually, they opened a new building.
Yeah, they're. That's why the guy was there in the morning because they're building like a new area on top of the
Yeah.
church.
Yeah. No, I mean because if you think about it, the monks. This has been open since 2005, right? This monastery's been here,
Maybe before, yeah.
or something around then.
Mm-hmm.
And this monastery's been open for a while, and the monks are doing manual labor, 6 hours a day. So there has to be renovations. There has to be additions all the time because they have to do something, right?
Maybe we should talk about what a monk is or
Oh
what
yeah, I didn't even think about
what
that
a
one.
monastery is or what.
Thank you. I completely
yeah.
forgot about that. Yeah, you want to answer one of these questions? Habibi, you want to answer one of these questions?
Um.
Like
Okay. Yeah.
what is a
A monk.
monastery,
A monk
or what
is
is a monk?
no. No,
What is a
yeah.
monk? What is a monk?
A monk is basically someone who dedicates their life to God. He doesn't. He doesn't want much out of like. He doesn't want the best stuff. He doesn't need the best stuff. He just dedicates his life.
Yeah. So I'll give a little background. So this guy, I forget what time was. I think maybe 400 AD.
Yeah.
Named Anthony, and he was
Alba
actually
Anthony.
yeah, Saint Anthony. He was a Coptic Christian living in Egypt at the time, and he walks into church in the middle of the liturgy during the gospel, and he hears the deacon reading the gospel and says,
Sell what you have.
"Sell what you have, give to the poor, whatever." So, and he turns around, he sells everything that he has, gives to the poor, and he just goes and he lives in the desert for the remainder of his life. So this guy actually, so there's many monasteries, so that's not just like a Coptic thing, it's not even just an Orthodox thing. Maybe you've heard about like Catholic monks or all this stuff. So we call Anthony the light of monasticism, or the father of monasticism.
Yeah.
So Saint Anthony the Great, they call him, was the first person to leave. So there's many different like renditions of monasteries. So some monks kind of like how here they live by like in community, and they don't really leave the monastery ever. Some monks decide, hey, like we're gonna live communally, but we're gonna serve the community around us. We're gonna leave, continue. We're gonna serve the
there's a
community
few of
around
those in Egypt, like
right?
there's like one in Zaytun that's like that. And
Yeah. So some like there's different, but this is the main one. So I would say 99% of like types of monasticism, types of monasteries are the ones like this, right?
The gated
So
in monasteries.
exactly. So like if I were to say or explain this to somebody who has no idea what we're talking about, what the word, or never heard the word monastery, never heard the word monk, maybe has no idea of anything, think of this as like the NBA bubble. Okay, so think of this as like I don't want to say LeBron James because whatever, but let's say whatever. Did the Suns make it to the bubble? I don't think they did. Did the Suns go to the bubble?
Celtics did.
So okay, I'm what, Jason Tatum? I'm Jason Tatum. Okay, and I'm on the Celtics, and for whatever reason, I can't. What for the bubble is COVID, so I cannot focus or I cannot do basketball outside of this bubble. So I'm gonna get together with everyone who's like-minded like me, or everyone who loves basketball like me, wants just to focus on basketball for X amount of time, and I'm gonna go to the bubble, and I'm gonna focus just on basketball. Okay, so coming back to the church aspect or a Christian aspect, these are men. There's men monasteries, and then women have their own, so it's separate. Men who are like-minded and said, I want to focus solely on following Christ and learning Christ. And there's different reasons that people come. Some out of humility would say, I'm such a sinner that the only way I can really feel like I'm like content in my salvation is if I were to join this monastery and repent 24/7. And there's so many verses supporting things like this, and there's a lot of things that they kind of really keep on their heart. Like Paul said, pray without ceasing. So they try to, pray without ceasing. So like the whole idea of this is not like a foreign concept of just focusing and sitting and like kind of like same thing, like moving away for college, all those things. Like there's a goal at hand. Yeah. I'm going to move and I'm going to focus on it, and I'm going to remove as much distractions as I can. So these guys are a bunch of men who wanted to move here and focus solely on what's to come, the future, getting to heaven. And they do that together, and a lot of manual labor. That is like a part of life, right? Work, not just manual labor. Work is a part of life. Everyone has a job. Everyone must work. All these things to keep them motivated and keep them their eye on the prize.
I mean, God created us to work. He gave Adam and Eve work to do.
Exactly. He told them, hey, manage the garden.
So thank you, Mina, for this.
Sure.
I think we're gonna end it there because Mona is about to start snoring.
Yeah.
He's tired.
I need to rest my voice.
And everyone else is tired. We got to be up at 4 a.m. So thank you for watching this, and if you learned something, thank you, Mina, obviously, for all your explanations and being on here.
I'd love being here.
I appreciate it, and thank you for setting up again with JJ. Thank you, JJ, for being behind the camera, and Jacob, wherever you went. What's up, man? So if you watched this far, subscribe, leave a comment, and a like. And if you want to see more videos like this, let us know. There's obviously a form in the description if you want to be featured. And one that has finally not interrupted me on the ending of a video.
This video will not be uploaded at 4 a.m. again.
Yeah, I will not make that mistake again. We're gonna upload it at a better time, so that we can get better
6 p.m.
YouTube algorithm.
Yeah.
Anyways, so thank you guys for watching, and see you guys later.